Yeah, just here doing my job. Just like you.
What's that
Are you running for the media Final Four?
I've eliminated long
I
time.
put you in the Final Four.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
What did you make of the truck race last night?
That was a mess. Y'all saw it. It was terrible.
What would you, if NASCAR, let's say, pulled all the drivers into a room and had you say something to all the truck drivers, what would you say?
I mean, just, I don't think, I don't know that you can voice anything. You just have to come down and make penalties for obvious reasons. I mean, it's realistically why the Clash is, a debacle as well. I mean, it's why Martinsville Xfinity is a debacle, and it's just, you see it and then you go do it. And so it's, it's just part of it. And certainly when you have a one race, if you win, you're in, it creates those atmospheres as well, which I think was intended, but certainly the drivers are taking it, a bit far now.
Carson's coming up to the cup level, so what do you think he needs to do in the next 3 months?
He has to get better. I mean, that's the biggest thing, is just get better than what he is right now.
Do you think, they just send people to the back for aggressive driving?
Yeah,
Is that as simple
that's
as
what they do in the local short tracks. Yeah, I don't understand. It shouldn't be that hard. And I guess the fine line is, well, for instance, someone said, well, what about Carson? Would that be a fraction? I'd say no. That would be a racing incident. Some of these are blatant enough that you can see that someone's hit someone and then they kept pushing. Those are the types of incidents you penalize. But we're never going to get there. I don't think NASCAR is ever going to make that change. And my opinion of it is that it's not even a short-term gain anymore. Sure, it gets some people on social media talking, but we're not having more viewers because of this chaos that we've created.
If this was, if yesterday was someone's first race watching, what impression did yesterday give off to anyone, looking to get into this sport?
Well, yeah, it's hard to take it seriously. I mean, it's hard to take seriously, honestly. I mean, that's just if you're a raw sports fan. I mean, I don't know how you could say, well, wait a minute, so that guy just knocked the other guy out of the way and it's not a penalty? It's, I saw some, kind of correlations to people are saying, like, taking all the rules out of football where you can hold, you can do whatever you want to do. Like, it's just gotten a little out of hand. But it's, the drivers are doing it, and NASCAR's not doing it. But sometimes you have to adapt to what you're seeing out there. And certainly if you deem that it's not pushing our sport forward, I think you should do something about it. And I don't think last night pushed our sport forward.
Thank you.
So
Carson,
go
ahead.
You've seen enough playoff, and kind of the officials look the other way during the playoffs. Is that what we're getting, or is this happening more than just inside our 10-race playoff system?
Yeah, it's more than that for sure. You see it during these cutoff races and whatnot the most. But yeah, it's happening in the local short. It trickles down because the younger generation is obviously watching us, and the Cars Tour is making great strides and penalizing drivers for intentionally wrecking others. And if they can do it with the infrastructure they have, I'm not sure why we can't, with all the cameras and officials that we have, do something about it. It's just, I'm on a soapbox right now, but I hate seeing our sport look as bad as it did last night. And for hard pressed to find anybody that would agree that was a good look.
Wait, have you brought this to NASCAR's attention and into individual conversations? And if you have, what is their feedback to you when you bring up this idea?
And did it come up in the drivers' meeting today that you all...
No one even said a word about it. It's like it's never even happened. But no, I spoke to Jeff about it, asking, is there something that can be done? And he's like, well, where's the line? Well, I don't know. Just make a line. It's no different than the restarts, right? There's no really defined car numbers. You can be laying back, but eventually, if you get a call, people know that it's too much. I need to tighten it up here, and so it just takes a few calls here and there to send people to the back that they'll never recover from because you're not going to pass back. That it'll get their attention. And I think Clash could be a good opportunity to start doing that, and because the Clash, as you've seen, it's just, that was a joke as well.
Is it time to talk to OD or Steve or Ben?
Yeah, I'm open to having those conversations, but clearly they know where I stand via X.
Denny, what is it like a year later here? obviously a horrible day for the organization, for Joe, and last year at this time. Your thoughts a year later, and just when you think about that morning last year, what comes to mind?
Yeah, it certainly is, and we know that, you know, I can't get in Ty's mind or anything like that, but certainly it has to have some sort of effect. You know, I think he does a really good job of just focusing in and honing in on his job, and you know, obviously that the organization looks a lot different now than what it did 1 year ago. But yeah, I could just try to sympathize and empathize, but I'll never understand for sure.
Denny, this was the year of Denny in so many ways, from the podcast to the controversies to the race wins to you being a contender, the fan reaction, all this stuff. What are you going to remember about the season for yourself?
I think it was kind of a microcosm of my whole career, honestly. You know, I feel like, you know, again, we can go over year by year, but every year there's been some sort of kink in the playoffs that has kept us from either moving on or you know, winning a championship. Again, I wish we didn't have mechanical failures. I wish it wasn't a part of our sport. I wish everyone just had the same equipment and, you know, it was durable and nothing ever broke. And if you ran bad, it's your fault, right? I wish that's the sport we had, but it's not. And, you know, I had a crazy 0.1% chance of what happening, and it did. And so I can only control what I can control, but it to me, it feels like, you know, I don't lose any motivation behind it because I'm still going to try to win every single week, but it's, you know, there's a luck factor, and I know Chris hates it, but it's, you know, all of our team cars had the same issue, but theirs didn't do what mine did. And so it's crummy that, you know, I wish that there was a larger sample size for sure, but it's not, and I've just got to live with it.
So how would you grade your season?
I would grade our season at probably a B+. I think certainly we could have more race wins. You know, 3 race wins.
This is Harrison Burton, driver the number 21. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, check out one of these 2 videos beside me. Visit frontstretch.com for more racing content.